Thank you, Susan. At the age of 9.5 years old, I stood on a corner in what would be called a ghetto in Chester, Pennsylvania, an angry kid, juvenile delinquent, on my way to what many of my friends ended up having, experience in jail, with drugs, some died. My father pulled up that day. We had been somewhat estranged, and he saw that I was in trouble, and he said to me, "Son, would you like to come live with me?" And I said, "Yes." He took me out of that foster home. He sat me down the following day, knowing that I had failed 5th grade, failed. And there was every reason to keep me back, but they pushed me on somehow. And he said, "Look, every day with me can be a day of heaven on earth, or every day I will tear your behind all to pieces. It depends on what you want." Folks, with discipline and vision and a belief in what's possible in this country, I went from being an F student in 5th grade to an A student in 6th grade, went on to graduate summa cum laude from the University of Massachusetts with a Phi Beta Kappa key, went on to Harvard Law School and Harvard Divinity School, practiced law for 15 years, founded the first and only gospel station ever in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, served in the United States Marine Corps, and I was able to do it for only 2 reasons, and 2 reasons only. Faith in Almighty God and the freedom that the United States of America gives us to make something of ourselves no matter where we start. Now, some of you know I just ran for the United States Senate, and I had not planned to do this, but I'm doing it for one reason and one reason only. I believe that that freedom that allowed me to stand before you as a candidate for U.S. Senate, now as a candidate for Lieutenant Governor, that allowed me to make something of my life rather than end up in jail on drugs or dead, that freedom is being threatened. Thomas Paine said on December 23rd, 1776, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from their duty to their country, but those who stand by her deserve the love and thanks of man and woman alike." Tyranny, like hell, is not easily defeated. I believe that this election and every election in this country right now is about one thing: whether we're going to be a nation in the grip of tyranny, or we're going to continue to be a nation of freedom. I believe in the vision that we recite. And I say we got to remember what those words mean. One nation under God with liberty and justice for all. And that is what I'm fighting for. And I don't believe that this election is ultimately about who can preside over the Senate. I think that probably any of you can do that. Certainly any of the people on this podium can do that. I don't believe it's ultimately about who will cast a deciding vote, because we may not even have that privilege over the next 2 years. I hope that the Republicans and conservatives will get more seats in the Senate, and that won't be necessary. So then for me, the question is this: what purpose can the Lieutenant Governor's office serve? And I believe what it can serve is a platform to take our conservative message out into communities across this Commonwealth that share our values but are not with us because they have been lied to. The lies have to be exposed for what they are, and we've got to go right at them and say, "No, we don't hate you. We're not against you. We see on you the imprint of God's almighty hand. We believe in you as individuals. The same thing that this country has enabled me to do, He will enable you to do, but we see you as individuals. We don't see you as a massless, nameless, faceless group based on some sort of balkanized ethnicity. We see each of you as valuable in this country and valuable in the sight of God." And everywhere I've taken that message, people respond to it. We've got to inspire people. We've got to let them know that this nation was built on truth. Truths don't change, folks. Whims change. Fads change. But truth remains the same. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There is not a single American, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Filipino, male, female, young, old, to whom that does not apply. And I think if we take that message to them, it will resonate with them. Look, I had one pastor say to me, and I could tell you several stories about this, say to me that he heard me talk about these very things I'm talking to you about, a black pastor. Folks, he said he and his wife wept all the way home. They said because they realized we've been believing a lie, and we will no longer buy it. We are going to support those people who stand up for truth, and we're going to oppose those people who do not. And it doesn't matter what party they come from. Folks, they said, you set us free. And that's what we need right now, to set people free from the bondage that the velvet glove of tyranny offers. You know, the velvet glove of tyranny is soft, it's supple, it's got goodies in it, but it'll bind you just as hard as the steel chains of slavery will. It's all the same ultimately. And folks, what this is about is reasserting liberty in the United States of America. Now, George Washington fought for it, Thomas Jefferson wrote about it, Patrick Henry eloquently spoke of it, Frederick Douglass ran away to have it. Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln died for it. And some of you veterans have friends, people that you know, you're here alive, you know they paid the last full measure of devotion for it. And that's what this election is ultimately all about. If you want a champion for freedom, if you want someone who will go out there and take our message beyond this group that's here, then I'd ask you to vote for me. Give me the opportunity to serve as your lieutenant governor. Virginia is where this whole nation got started. Virginia is where we must assert leadership again. Virginia must lead the way. It is up to liberty, liberty to light the way. And folks, God will show us the way. Thank you.